Hello, welcome to my channel, Autumn and the Mage. This is a general reading in regards to love for Gemini. It is general, so it might not resonate for you. If it does, I'd love to hear about it. If you wouldn't mind liking the video or posting a comment below to let me know how it resonates, I would really appreciate that. But either way, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching this video. If the reading doesn't resonate or if there's some portion of it that doesn't resonate, don't try to force it. Just take what you know to be yours and leave the rest behind. We are starting here first with the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck, trying to get a card for the overall energy of the connection. And the card that we get here is card number 10, which is the Waxing Gibbous 1 Moon, and it says discernment. Discernment in this card and the energy surrounding it is actually about choosing wisely, about making choices, about considering, using the wisdom that you've built up in life to really look at a situation and see it for what it is and choose wisely. Like this, it's not a warning. That kind of sounds like it's a warning, which isn't what I intended. And I don't think that's the energy here. This isn't some kind of warning. It's just, see situations clearly. Maybe you weren't before and you've just recently been enlightened in some way, or something has been brought to your attention. And so it's a card saying choose wisely, examine the situation closely, don't be fooled kind of energy there. It's interesting energy for a connection, and that might be on your part or their part, or it might be for both of you to examine the connection and see it for what it is. And which again sounds like it's a negative, and I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean it like it's possible that it's more than what you thought it was, or it's possible that it's just slightly different than what you thought it was. But definitely with this card here, there's a call for choosing carefully, thinking it through. Don't be a fool. Don't embrace that fool energy and dive right in. Let's go ahead now, and we're going to use the tarot to take a look at how this person feels for you, the person you're connecting with, Gemini. How does this person feel about Gemini? Please, 3 cards. That was more than 3 cards. Okay. We're going to use these 3 here that came out. Okay, so we get the first card here is the 2 of Swords, which is I'm going to show you the other ones that came out. There's just 2 others, but the 2 of Swords here is about feeling like it's indecision. It's a card of indecision, okay? But in the 2 of Swords, it's kind of obstinate indecision because this person's wearing a blindfold, like they don't want to look at what their choices are, because they know what the answer is. And it's funny that this card is coming up with discernment, because this person is feeling like they don't want to look. They don't want to see the questions. They don't want to see the possible answers, because then they'll have to choose, and they already know what they would choose. So, but it says, listen to your inner voice when making choices. And this card here is talking about not just going off of what you feel, okay? Listen to your intuition. Listen to the wisdom that you've built up over the years, allow that to guide you in your decision making. So 2 of Swords here, there's some choice here that they don't want to look at. And so because of that, there's a lack of action. This is kind of like, I'm not moving kind of energy. But then here we get the 10 of Pentacles, which is very committed energy. This is feeling like someone this is commitment and stability. This is feeling very dedicated to a person, very committed to a person, okay? This card also mentions wisdom. It says, everything in fruition and wisdom from all stages of life. Wisdom from all stages of life, which again, this is talking, this talks about, using the wisdom that you've built up over your life to help make your decisions. But anyway, this person here feels very committed to you and very committed to this connection with this Ten of Pentacles. And the Moon, which talks about something being hidden, or be careful of seeing things that are not there. Okay. And with the Moon, they're talking about fears, like the Moon card, if it hasn't been explained to you in the past, is like when you're sitting in your room in the dark and you look across the room and you think that you see something, but when you flip the switch on, you realize it was just the lamp, or it was just, that shirt that you draped over your chair and you forgot about. And it's nothing. It's not as scary as you think it is, okay? And that's what the Moon is talking about. Those things that look like something, which is sometimes why it can represent fear. But as far as feelings go, this card really, it reads as fear, like feeling afraid of something, but something that they're not seeing properly. They're not seeing for what it is, okay? Which is interesting. The cards that came out that we're going to factor in, but we're not going to keep here on the table, is the Four of Swords, which talks about healing. Okay, this is someone who's taking a moment to heal and recuperate from something, and they're thinking of the future. Okay, and the Knight of Cups, which is it's a knight. He wants to come in and sweep you off your feet. It's very romantic energy, very sweet energy. But yes, an offering of the heart, it's very good energy. And I think it is a part of what they feel here, but this Moon and this Two of Swords really stand out as the message intended. So we're going to take those, we're going to clarify them, but first we're going to take a look at most likely future for this connection. I'm not talking outcome kind of future, but like most likely, gosh, why am I having a hard time phrasing it? But we're going to take a look at the future, okay? What's the most likely future for this outcome? What can we see happening soon for this outcome? Queen of Pentacles. This is another Pentacle card here. The Queen of Pentacles, she's the queen of this Ten of Pentacles, That's her kingdom. And this has to do... This actually has a lot to do with self, and focusing on ourselves and nurturing ourselves. This is a card of nurturing, but also a card of commitment. But you might be dealing with a earth sign, which is Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. But let's go ahead and see what else we get here. What can we see in the future of this connection, please? What's the most likely future of this connection, please? Eight of Swords, which is stressing. It's a mental trap that we create. But it's all mental. It's all like in our heads. Okay, because it's something we could definitely get ourselves out of. And the last card we get is the Six of Pentacles, which is a card of generosity and reciprocation, give and take, equal give and take. So there's something here. I want to clarify this Queen of Pentacles because it can represent self and taking care of self, focusing on our own accomplishments and our own building ourselves up, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clarify all of it. But the Eight of Swords is a card about feeling trapped. In this card, they're bound, but they have swords all around them. They could easily cut themselves free, but they don't, which has to do with fear. But it also, the card just talks about being in control, but not feeling like you are, you can set yourself free, but you're not for whatever reason. And that doesn't necessarily have to be you. That might be the person that you are connecting with. We're going to take a look now. We're going to clarify using the Everyday Witch Tarot. We're going to start with the Two of Swords. Can you clarify this Two of Swords for us? I thought I saw a card flip. I did. Temperance. Temperance has to do with timing. Temperance is the Sagittarius energy, so you might be dealing with the Sagittarius, but the Temperance card has to do with balance and timing. And it's like, in time, I will look at this decision, or, when the time is right, I'll take a look at it and deal with it. But the Temperance card is also about persistence and patience, because we have to keep trying. We have to find the exact my combination of things to perfect something, and that takes time, and that's what this card is about, taking that time. So I'm not exactly sure how that lines up with that Two of Swords. It may be that they're thinking they'll take a look at this decision when the time is right, or it may be that that decision has something to do with that balance and with that patience. Let's take a look at the Ten of Pentacles, please. Please clarify the Ten of Pentacles. I'm sorry if you can hear my kiddos in the background. They are just playing in the other room. It can be quite loud sometimes. Ten of Pentacles, please. The Three of Cups. So this is a card of celebration. It's having a good time, This person feels like they're very committed to you. They feel like this could be a lasting connection, a connection that goes on for a long time, that they can stay committed to and stay stable in. And to clarify that, we have this card that talks about just having a good time with someone, laughing and drinking and dancing, but not necessarily those things. But it's just about really enjoying somebody's company and wanting to be in their company. Let's take a look at the moon. Can we clarify the moon? Please clarify the moon for how this person feels. Okay, so what we get here is the Knight of Swords, which is someone who's very determined. He's charging in, and he knows what he wants. He's very focused. It's very focused energy, and very fast. Okay, and what follows that is the Seven of Wands, which is protective energy. Someone who these wands, their wand means a lot to them, or their wands, and they feel the need to protect those things that light them up, that spark them. And so it's very protective, like, this is mine, and you can't have it, and I'm going to protect it, sort of energy. And then we get the Knight of Pentacles, which is someone who's moving very slowly towards something. They, like the Knight of Swords, they know what they want, but they're going to take the steps that they feel are appropriate. They're going to move slowly, so they know that every hoof, if they're on a mount, if they're on a horse, wow, I said mount, but anyway, for every step that they take on whatever, riding or walking, whatever, every step is going to be intentional. It's going to be placed where it was meant to be placed. And the next one, before I put it there, I'm going to think about it and then I'm going to place it exactly where it belongs. And it's very dedicated energy. They know where they're going. They're going to take their time, and they're going to do it right. And it's almost like I feel, especially since Temperance came out here, which is a patience card, I feel like part of what's being, what isn't quite as it seems, is possibly a very slow moving sort of energy or intention, you know, like I'm gonna get there, okay, but I'm gonna take my time. And maybe again, this is in regards to these, maybe they're afraid that things are moving too slowly, or maybe they intend for things to move slowly, and that's what they're shielding with this moon energy here. However that resonates for you, take a look at it, you know, really examine it. Is this you moving really slowly, or is this them, you know, really wanting to be very intentional in their actions and very careful? It's very, it's kind of this discernment energy, you know. Take your time, really review it, make sure that what you see is what you're getting, you know. And that's kind of how they're coming across. Like, I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to make any choices, you know, and I'm going to really fully examine this as I move forward. And I feel very strongly about that. I'm protecting my right to move slowly, you know. That's what kind of energy. Uh, I, but they really do. I mean, in between that, they really like you, and they have a really good time with you, and they think that you're someone that they could be committed to and have a long and solid relationship with. So let's take a look at this future energy. Queen of Pentacles, please. We get the Knight of Cups, which we talked about before, that came out in their feelings, which is someone who really wants to sweep you off your feet. It's very emotional. It's very, yeah, very romantic kind of energy, very sweet. And I want to offer you this, you know, yeah, something a little bigger than a compliment, you know, but not necessarily an offer of marriage or something like that. You know, it's just definitely wanting to make you feel like loved. And that's connected to this Queen of Pentacles here, which is that very nurturing and very protective energy. Very, I mean, motherly, but not necessarily. I mean, it's just very nurturing, very protective, okay? And so this might be the person you're connecting with. Like I said, this is Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're connecting to one of them. It may just be that this person is in that very stable energy, which actually Pentacles and Earth signs are really slow to move. They're very slow energy, and yeah, they when they actually, now that I'm looking at this, it feels very much like an earth sign might be, that might be what you're dealing with, because they don't make choices quick, you know. They're not like decide now kind of people. They're very much, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to make this choice when I'm ready to make it. And they think a lot about their choice before they make it, because once they make a choice, once they make a commitment, they're very slow to release that commitment, you know. Once they make that commitment, they're committed. So it may be that you're dealing with an earth sign, but let's take a look at this Eight of Swords. Please clarify the Eight of Swords. You don't have to be. It may just be that this person, you know, has that sort of energy. We really all carry energy of all of the elements, okay? Just based off of different periods of time in our life. I'm a fire sign, and I've definitely been very, very much a fire sign. But in recent years, I do kind of feel like I feel like an earth sign. So they may just be stepping into that energy right now. Let's take a look, though. Can we get clarification on this Eight of Swords, please? This being trapped, and excuse me, this could just be a thought, you know. That was the moon that tried to flip. That's funny, but the Eight of Swords could just be a thought that they're focusing on, you know. Or, and this doesn't have to be them. This could be you focusing heavily on this thought that you just can't get yourself away from, and it's trapping you and kind of affecting how you make decisions and what you do, because you're so kind of consumed by this thought. Can we get clarification, please? Eight of Swords. The Seven of Cups has tried to come out before. It's sort of flipped before. The Seven of Swords has to do with confusion and choices. In the Seven of Swords, they have all of these, I don't know how well you can see these, they have all these choices, you know, and it can be about kind of being paralyzed by all the choices. There's just so many options. And it doesn't have, sometimes this is people, you know, like, oh, I have all these people I could be with and I don't know which one to pick. But sometimes this is just like, well, it could go this way. And that's kind of how I'm reading this, you know, like it could go this way or it could go this way. Or maybe it'll go this way. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. Or I could do this. Or I could do this, you know, like different, it's just about choices and being, sometimes we get caught up in those choices and we find ourselves kind of daydreaming. But in this case, I feel like it's a stress, you know, there's like, I don't know how to act. I don't know what to do. I don't know what action to take. And so I feel just trapped. And, you know, even if someone feels very committed to you, even if someone wants a stable relationship with you in the future and they, even if this looks appealing to you is what I'm saying, if it's hard for you, if it's too hard for you, you don't have to force yourself to accept something ever. You don't have to force yourself to accept it, you know. Really slow moving energy is sometimes something that we can't deal with. It's not, it doesn't align with us and doesn't align with what we want for ourselves, and that's fine. You don't have to force yourself to accept, you don't have to force yourself to accept what they're giving. If it's not, if it's not what you want for yourself, that's okay. And it's okay to walk away from something, even though they're offering that stability, even though they believe that they could find it with you. If they're coming at you with the wrong energy, they might just be the wrong person for you at this time. And so if that's the case, then that's okay. You don't have to just accept what's being handed to you. You have a choice here. You have free will. Use your discernment and your wisdom. You know, what have you experienced in the past? What have you been okay to accept? What are you looking for yourself now? You know? In the Six of Pentacles here, this is about equal give and take. It's about generosity and a balance between two people. And, excuse me, to clarify that, we get the Knight of Wands, which is very passionate energy. The Knight of Wands is sometimes considered like player energy because it can be very physical energy, you know, like I want what I want and that's all I want, you know, kind of energy. But this talks about a balance in that. And generosity, if both of you are generous and then you're both giving towards that, and that's a positive thing. I mean, I think this is a positive thing, but like I said, even though sometimes what we do is we find ourselves in situations where there is all of these good things happening, but a tied to all those good things is like this one really, really bad one, or maybe a couple of really, really bad things. And so we tell ourselves this aspect is so good that I can accept this aspect, you know. And to a degree, there is a balance, and there is, and you should definitely try to compromise if someone means something to you and if you really want to be in that relationship with them. But don't, but trust yourself. Listen to your intuition. Is it something that you really can compromise on? Or is this something that's just so important to you that you can't compromise in that way, if that makes sense? Let's go ahead now and get a oracle message for advice for you in regards to this connection. We're using Your Heart Knows the Way oracle deck. Thank you again for watching this reading. I do really appreciate it. I hope it resonated for you, whatever portion of the reading you connected to. I'd love to hear about it if it did, so please do feel free to post a comment or send me an email, whatever you'd like to do. But let's see here, can we get advice for Gemini in regards to this connection? Make choices wisely. That's what's the advice, right? We have two cards that came out. That's interesting, these two cards, in my opinion, because the first one is card number 47, Your Heart Can't Break. And then card number 18, which says, Listen to your heart. I'm going to read those from the book for you. 47, Your Heart Can't Break. What happens to a heartbreak when you remember love cannot be lost? For how can you lose the very thing of which you are made? Is your heart shattered in the aftermath of loss? Does your soul ache with desire for a love that's now gone? Your heart is torn apart, and its shattered pieces haunt you with memories of love. You ache because you think this love was a gift that will never be given to you again. You regret the actions that led to its demise, and in your shame you wish to bury the jagged pieces of your broken heart. But your pain, as intense and real as it is a symptom of amnesia. It tells you that you've forgotten who you are, because if you remembered yourself, you know that your heart can never break and your love can never be lost. This card reminds you that love is not a thing you receive from another. The source of love is you. For you are love individualized in physical form. When you experience loss, it's not your heart that breaks. You ache because you're forgetting your true nature of love. Today, remember the truth of yourself and allow your love to flow. Open your heart despite your pain. Bathe in the current of unconditional love that is the essence of your soul. And with this radical act, allow yourself to once again be whole. And so this pain that they're talking about might be from this connection, or it might be from a past connection. It's just saying love comes from within us. Whatever love is being reflected, whatever love you feel coming towards you from another person is really a reflection of what you're sending out. And so what I'm trying to say is it begins with you. It begins inside of you, and it is always there. And when somebody leaves, it feels like they've taken it with them, but they haven't. It's still within you. You just need to acknowledge it there and allow yourself the chance to and the opportunity to express it again, to open it, to share it with someone else again. So card number 18. I'm not sure how that resonates for you here, but hopefully it does. Listen to your heart. It knows the way. Do you have trouble differentiating the voices inside you? Can you tell apart inspiration from your fears? That's funny, because I feel like this really aligns with this discernment here. Your heart speaks the language of your soul, which sometimes when we say heart, and I should probably read this before I say this actually, but I'm going to read it. Your heart speaks the language of your soul. Your mind translates this into the language of the world. Yet your soul never speaks above a gentle whisper. It inspires within you thoughts that make your heart sing with joy. It nudges you into inspired action and stirs up anticipation within you. Your fears, on the other hand, are loud and intrusive. Their storms disrupt the calm within you. Their anxious demands create chaos within your mind. This card reminds you that your mind is nothing more than a translator. The messages it speaks are either from your soul or from your fears. You can tell them apart by the way they make you feel. Your negative emotions are fueled by fear, while the positive are messages from your heart. Which, that statement is a little bit I'm going to clarify that. Your task today is to listen closely to your mind's directives. Learn to differentiate the thoughts of your heart from those of your fears. In the midst of fear's tantrums, recognize the untruths echoing within your mind. Today, drop these destructive thoughts and listen to the soft whispers of your heart instead. So, the first thing that I was going to say is sometimes people think listening to their heart means following their feelings, which it's similar, but it's not the same, because we feel a lot of things, okay? This is talking about feelings that come from your heart and your soul, okay? And those are what you need to listen to. That's what your intuition is trying to share with you, those messages from your heart and your soul. And they do come out very subtly, as opposed to fears, which feel like an attack. It feels like you're being attacked, okay? But the messages coming from your heart and your soul aren't always necessarily, they're not they're not always positive. You know, sometimes what we need, what our soul and our heart needs to say to us is something that we don't want to hear, okay? So it's not necessarily a positive statement. Sometimes what it needs to say to us is something that makes us sad. It's the way that that message comes through is how you know if that is a fear or if that is your intuition speaking to you, because a fear will make you feel attacked. But if it's your intuition, you'll feel calm when you receive the message. You won't feel like you're being attacked. You'll feel a sort of knowing and a calmness. And right after you hear it, you might feel panic. But in the delivery of that message, there will be calm. And that's how you differentiate. And gosh, I hope that that made sense to you, because it took me a while to actually learn that, and to understand this is my fear speaking versus, oh no, this isn't what I want to hear, but this is my soul speaking to me. That takes a little bit of practice. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this reading. It really, really means a lot to me. I appreciate that. So thank you very, very much. I hope that it resonated for you. And like I said, I'd really love to hear about it. If it did, please remember to move forward with positive energy, positive thinking, and positive words. Remember to be generous and grateful, because when we send all of that positive energy out, that's what we bring back towards ourselves. So please focus on that. And thank you again so much. I hope that you have a beautiful day. I hope I see you back here again soon. Bye, Gemini.